Hello, it's Ruby Burrito, and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about some things that I would love to see in the new expansion. So if you didn't see the news, the expansion is being delayed a little while. I believe it's now coming out in October instead of August. We have several expansions already in the game. If we go to our story journal, we can take a look. We have expansion 1, Heart of Thorns, 2, Path of Fire, 3, End of Dragons, 4, Secrets of the Obscure, 5, Janthier Wild. So Expac 6 is what is going to be coming at the end of this year. It's already been confirmed. We have one more content drop coming for Janthier Wilds. If we head over to the Wizard's Vault in the special, you can see that we're just over 2 weeks away from that content drop, and I have a lot of work to do, per usual, but I'll be working on those here soon. But I wanted to take this time to talk about some things that would be really cool to see in this new expansion. So I'm hoping that things are going well and they have really good plans. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the Wizard's Vault, actually. So if you've been doing your daily Wizard's Vault, you probably know that you can go to this cog here. You have PvE, PvP, and World v. World. They have been adding new fractals. They've been adding new raids now. I think that if they added a fourth option here that was dungeons, fractals, raids, the raids would be part of the weekly, not the daily, but then you could toggle between fractals or dungeons. That way you can actually help revitalize some of those game modes. I know a lot of people do their fractals, their daily fractals right now, but I don't even have PvE checked because, granted, I'm working on projects with PvP and World v. World, but I don't really do the PvE. I don't really do fractals because even though I know that the daily fractals are very valuable and very good to do, I have so many other things that need to get done that I really don't make the effort to come and do these. And then same with dungeons. I don't remember the last time I did a dungeon. It was probably part of crafting all of my Gen 1 legendaries, but I don't do dungeons for fun. I actually don't even think that I participated in the last dungeon event because it just wasn't convenient for me with the time that I have. And I would love for those to come back because there's tons of dungeon-related achievements in here that I don't have because I wasn't running dungeons when the game first came out, and now I'm also not running dungeons. So, or at least when the game came out, I was running pretty much just Citadel of Flame, and that's it. So there's definitely some other achievements that I'd like to get done, and I'd love for them to revitalize those areas of the game. The next thing that I'd like to see is number 4 here, I guess. They're not in a particular order. The top ones are my top ones, but these other ones are not really in a particular order. Armor skins. I do think they've added some good armor skins. You have the ones that are coming in through the Astral rewards here. You can go back and look at the ones that are in the Legacy rewards. And for example, I believe I'm actually rocking the Woad set right now. I liked this set. I think 1 or 2 more sets and allowing themselves to put them in maybe later in the expansion, give themselves time to give really good, solid armor sets, because I know they do a really good job with the armor sets that they put in. I think that is one of the things that I'd love to see. Weapons, there's so many weapon skins and weapon sets in this game. I'm not super concerned. That's the wrong one. Not super concerned with getting a ton more weapon skins, but I don't know. I think everybody really focuses on fashion wars as part of the end game, and so I think some unique looking armor or some really cool looking armor that they can really take the time and feel proud of would be really cool to see. The next one actually is going to be one that I got some input from Astrid, because we have now been going through the story here in Secrets of the Obscure and Janthier Wilds. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler here, so warning, spoiler. But in End of Dragons, it's pretty much the last time we've heard from Maureen. And after having started raising her in Living World Season 2, or raising the egg and then it hatching in this time frame, I mean, this is years ago. You spent years and years and years with Maureen. Maybe just like a check-in, have a conversation, understand what she's doing in the background. I know she's kind of a world-breaking aspect to the game now that she's an Elder Dragon, but it would be cool to kind of have... I know we've had some tidbits here and there with Kaith, but it would be nice to kind of get something a little bit more concrete there. Now come my top items here. I would love to see a great axe, a battle axe in this game. New weapon, not replacing anything. I think it's an easier one to implement because they've already done so much work with the hammer and the axe that doing the animations, at least for the movement of the character, should be relatively simple. It'd be related to what they already have. And then skin-wise, you can scale up a lot of these. So like, if we go to wardrobe, you come to the axe. Look at all these axe skins. Like, the Watchwork axe. This is really cool. Make it giant, two-handed, and now it's the size of a hammer, like this hammer here. You make a great axe like that. It requires not a ton of effort. They could do something a little unique to add it, to make it feel separate from the axe. But I don't think people would really care if they didn't go back and add, for example, that's a Gen 1 legendary one, but like an Orion, you have the Orion Smasher. I don't think anybody's going to care if they don't go back and make like a specific Orion unique great axe if they just scale up this axe. So if we go to Orion here, if you make this two-handed, there we go. If you make this giant and two-handed, I think people would just love to have that as an option. You know what I mean? And then give people those as part of the loot box, the loot tables and everything. And then it's going to cost money and people are going to want to spend on it. I think that would be really fun. And then they could do a legendary similar to how they did the legendary spear in Janthier Wilds. You could have a unique one, tie it into the convergences, things like that. I think that's a really solid way. My number one that I think is realistic, we'll go to mounts. I want a spider mount. I know that people have arachnophobia. I know that's a huge reason why we don't have a spider mount in the game. I also know they were working on spider mounts for this game. I hope they didn't scrap that. I would love to see that in the game. I cannot tell you how much fun it would be to ride around on like a giant tarantula and being able to scale walls and stuff. That would be super cool. I don't know what they would do for arachnophobia mode. I don't know what you would make it look like so that it doesn't look like a spider, because you can't make it look like a turtle, because then people are going to think that it's a siege turtle and not a spider. I guess it doesn't really matter too much, but there should be something that shows that what it is, that it's not a siege turtle or whatever it ends up looking like. I don't know. I really love that idea, and I think it would be great. I think you would make a ton of money off of skins. I mean, look at how many skins are in the game for just this is the work law, right? Griffin. Skyscale, tons here, and people will spend money on them, and I think it would be really good for the game. I think more people like the idea of a giant spider mount than they realize. Let me know down below in the comments if you hate that idea. Please let me know. I know Astrid would not love them, but if you do arachnophobia mode, then people don't have to see them. You can make them look like, I don't know, you can make them look like teddy bears or something that's not. It would be a little terrifying to see teddy bears climbing a mountain, but still. I'm actually going to do a secret item 0 here. A 6th thing that I'd love to see, if you will. And that's going to be a new raise. The reason that I'm not considering this one of the main things is everybody wants a new raise. That's not really something that I think is really up for debate. I think they know that people want a new race. I would love for that to be the reason why they're delaying it, is because they want to add a new race and they want to make sure it's good. I think the easiest way to do this, in my opinion, add Tengu. You can see the outline of the Dominion of Winds right here. This is their capital city. Pretty straightforward. You already have a location on the map. You already updated all of their character models because of End of Dragons. You had a whole bunch of Tengu done at End of Dragons. You have voice acting done for End of Dragons. You already have that set, what you would want to do. You put Dominion of Winds right here. You give them a 1 to 15 right here. It'd be a small 1 to 15, but it could, I don't know. Or you could also have a portal to up here in the wastes. I don't know exactly how you do it. You could even just go off of Caledon Forest and do another 15 to 25 over here, or you could do a level 80 zone up here in the Woodland Cascades. You could just do this where you can't do story on the Tengu. I know that's kind of a cop-out, but instead of going back and re-voice acting all of the story with a Tengu voice actor, you just have them not be able to do story. They can only do story moving forward. If you pick a Tengu, you don't have the same interactions with people. And then, for example, the Tyrian Alliance would just refer to somebody else, maybe Queen Jenna, something. Somebody else could be part of that, and they could rewrite the story a little bit different for the Tengu. Or they just can't do story. All you can do is play and have that as a character model, because that's all the different races typically are. You get a little bit of flavor, a little bit of visuals, and it's your character model. So I think that would be a way that they could do it without all of the massive amounts of work. I'm trying to think of other games where you could get a new race. I think I'm specifically thinking of World of Warcraft. Like, they added new races and you had your own intro story, and then it didn't really matter who you were. The only downside with Guild Wars is they reverse back so much as you as the commander and all of your historical work. Like, the Tyrian Alliance is really cool currently, but it does prevent them from being able to, like, there's no clean slate move into this next. You're not just a hero anymore. You have all this history. So it does make it difficult. I think the best way is the cop-out answer of not having story unlocked through that character. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know down below in the comments. Feel free to hit that sub button if you want to support the channel. That's the best way to do it. It helps keep me knowing that you guys are enjoying the content. Love hearing your voice down below in the comments. Otherwise, thank you guys so much, and we'll see ya in the next one.